When your dog follows you everywhere, do you actually know what that means? You probably think it's just loyalty, or maybe they're being clingy. But behind that constant shadowing, there's something deeper that most dog owners completely miss. It's one of the most instinctive and vulnerable things your dog can do. And if you misunderstand it, which most owners do, you might confuse your dog or even weaken the bond they're trying to build with. Let's start with what this behavior really means. And by the way, if your dog ever suddenly stops following you like this, don't ignore it. We'll come back to that later because it means more than most people realize. 1. The myth of clingy dogs. You walk to the kitchen, they follow. You go to the bathroom, they're outside the door. You stand up for 2 seconds, suddenly you have a tail attached to your legs. Most people think it's about neediness, or worse, that their dog is too dependent. But here's what's actually happening. Your dog isn't following you because they're weak. They're following you because, in their mind, you are the center of their world. Think about that for a second. Dogs don't see relationships the way humans do. They don't value independence the same way. In the wild, separation from the group isn't freedom. It's danger. So when your dog follows you from room to room, it's not a flaw. It's instinct. It reveals something powerful. Your dog doesn't just live with you. They orient their entire sense of safety around you. And this is where most owners get it wrong. They try to fix a behavior that's actually a sign of trust. 2. The signs of proximity and safety. Have you ever noticed how your dog relaxes more when you're nearby? Even if nothing else changes, just your presence shifts their behavior. Most people assume that's emotional attachment in a simple sense, like affection. But here's what's actually happening. A 2013 study from the University of Vienna found that dogs use their owners as a secure base when exploring unfamiliar environments. What does that mean? It means your dog doesn't just like being near you. They rely on you to feel safe enough to exist confidently in the world. Think about that for a second. When your dog follows you, they're not just being affectionate. They're calibrating their environment through you. Another study in 2021 from the University of Helsinki showed that dogs actively seek proximity to their owners when they feel uncertain even more than to other familiar humans. But here's the part that matters. Your dog isn't just recognizing you, they're choosing you as their safe place. And here's where it gets even deeper when your dog stays close. They're regulating their stress, their awareness, and even their emotional state through your presence. So next time your dog follows you, it's not random, it's regulation. 3. The scent bond you can't see. You might think your dog follows you because they see you moving, but sight isn't their strongest sense. Scent is. Here's what most people don't realize. Your dog is constantly tracking you, not just visually, but through smell. Every step you take leaves a trail. Every room you enter carries your scent, and your dog is drawn to it. Here's what's actually happening. Dogs associate scent with identity, safety, and belonging. Your smell isn't just familiar to them, it's grounding. Think about that for a second. When your dog follows you into another room, they're not just staying close physically, they're reinforcing a bond through scent proximity. In pack dynamics, members stay close not just for protection, but to maintain a shared scent identity. And this is where it becomes emotional. And your dog isn't just following a person. They're staying connected to what feels like home. What makes this even more powerful is your dog chooses to stay within your scent zone even when they don't have to, which tells you something important. You are not just their owner. You are their anchor. Now, before we keep going, if you're learning something new about your dog, hit like and subscribe. That's how we get these videos to more people who want to build a real bond with their dog. 4. The instinct that comes from wolves. To really understand this behavior, you have to go back thousands of years before your dog had a name, before they had a bed, they had a pack. Most people think following behavior is learned, but here's what's actually happening. It's inherited, Wolves and early dogs survive by staying close to their leader and group. Distance means vulnerability. Closeness means survival. Think about that for a second. Puppies instinctively follow their mother from the moment they can walk, not because they're told to, but because their survival depends on it. And here's where it gets even deeper. That instinct doesn't disappear when a dog becomes a pet. It transfers. Your dog replaces their original pack with you. So when they follow you from room to room, they're not copying behavior. They're expressing something ancient, something hardwired. What this reveals about how your dog sees you is simple. You are not just part of their life. You are their leader, their protector, and their direction. And when you move, their instinct says, follow. 5. They don't do this with everyone. Have you ever noticed something subtle? Your dog doesn't follow everyone the same way they follow you. They might like other people. They might even play with them, but they don't shadow them like this. Most people assume that's just preference, but here's what's actually happening. Following is selective. Think about that for a second. Your dog chooses who they trust enough to track. This isn't random affection. It's emotional hierarchy. Studies on domestic dogs show that they form strongest attachments to one primary figure, the one they rely on for safety and consistency. And this is where it becomes personal. Your dog isn't just following a human, they're following you out of everyone in their world. You are the one they align with. What makes this even more powerful is they're not just watching where you go. They're watching how you move, how you react, how you exist, because in their mind, your behavior predicts the world. So next time your dog follows you, remember that behavior is earned, not automatic. 6. The real reason they can't let you out of their sight. Now we get to the deepest layer, because everything we've talked about so far leads to this. Most people think dogs follow because they love being around you, but that's only part of the truth. Here's what's actually happening. Your dog follows you because without you, their world feels incomplete. Think about that for a second. You are not just a companion in their life. You are their reference point for everything. Safety, routine, emotion, meaning. When you move, their sense of stability moves with you. And here's where it gets even deeper. Following you is one of the most vulnerable things your dog can do, because it means they are placing their trust in your direction completely. No hesitation, no backup plan. What this reveals about how your dog sees you is powerful. They believe you will lead them somewhere safe every single time. So when they follow you into another room or wait outside a closed door, they're not being annoying. They're saying, I trust you enough to go wherever you go. And that's not small. 7. When this behavior suddenly stops, don't ignore this. Remember earlier when I mentioned this? If your dog ever stops following you, it matters a lot. Most people don't notice it right away. But when a dog who used to shadow you suddenly stays behind, something has changed. Here's what's actually happening. It could be physical. Pain, fatigue, or illness can reduce their need to move. Or it could be emotional. Dogs who feel disconnected, anxious, or uncertain may stop following because their bond feels unstable. Think about that for a second. The behavior you once found annoying might actually have been a sign everything was okay. So when it disappears, it's not just silence. It's a signal. And this is where most owners get it wrong. They only notice the presence of behavior, not its absence. So if your dog stops following you like they used to, pay attention, because your dog might be telling you something without making a sound. So let's go back to the beginning. When your dog follows you everywhere, do you actually know what that means? It's not just loyalty. It's not just habit. That's not clinginess. That's connection. That's instinct. That's trust. in its purest form. Your dog isn't just walking behind you. They're choosing you as their safety, their direction, their home, and that behavior. It was never small to your dog, and it shouldn't be small to you either.